And welcome back inside the Backstage Pass. Our thanks to George Dukas for joining us here on the show. Of course, out there at KKTC True Country 99.9 and our friends at HighTideCountry.net, presented by our friends over at Bangtail Whiskey. And, of course, the CadenGordonShow.com, today's best country mix out there just a few weeks out from CMA Fest 2024. Looking forward to that. Some big news to announce backstage at the Grand Ole Opry. And, of course, big event down at Teddy's on June 7th. And we're going to be, of course, in the media room out there at Fanfare X inside the Music City Center. Pleased to welcome in my second artist of the day. Yep, we're doing some shows today, no doubt. This is going live and it's in real time. As her new single out there, He Knows It, is across all those streaming platforms. And one of my favorite young artists I got to know, Abby J. Hall. Abby, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Brendan? Thanks for having me.
Busy. Yeah, the vocal cords, I want them to hold up over the next few days for all these shows we're putting together. It's been crazy, but the busy time of the year is always May and June for music out there too, and of course for country music, getting ready for CMA Fest. It's going to be a busy week up there for us in Nashville, Tennessee. But I want to learn more before we talk about the songs and of course the selection, the catalog of music. How did you get started? Can you remember as far as the young age? When did that music bug kind of bite?
Yeah, so I grew up homeschooled, and I feel like it allowed my siblings and I to kind of just like figure out what we like to do, and we'd always come up with little melodies around the house. And then I feel like it wasn't until I saw a Taylor Swift music video of Love Story that I was like, wow, this looks like such a cool career to go after. And yeah, I've just kind of started songwriting after that and have never stopped. And then after high school, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go after it and see what happens. And it's been so much fun. And yeah, I love it.
When you talk about the fun aspect of it, give me the best part of just being an artist. Is it playing live in front of an audience? Is it the songwriting? Is it a little mix of both?
I think for me, it's definitely the songwriting. I really love writing music, and I also love performing in front of people and connecting with an audience that way. But I feel like my first love will always be the songwriting.
When you look at the music and the selection of songs you've put out, let's dive into this latest single out there too, which I thought was just beautifully done. A direct message too, stylistically very good, vocals very good, production was very good. Talk about just the making of this song and the team you got to work with.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Yeah, He Knows It was a song where I wrote the first verse and then was like, you know what? The certain situation I'm talking about, I'm not really inspired anymore. So I actually put a photo of Austin Butler as Elvis on my computer screen. And that gave me inspiration to like finish the song. And then afterwards, I took the song to my producer, Tal Vaisman in Toronto. And we made a demo of the song as we were kind of deciding which songs should go on an EP. And then He Knows It just kind of kept coming back. And when we played it live, the audience had a bigger connection with that one. And so we were like, you know what? Yeah, let's just record it. And so it was really the two of us in his studio in Toronto. And yeah, that's how it came together.
When it comes, the live crowds, I'm so glad, like you mentioned, it's so busy now with the live shows opening back up. Everybody who's in the industry knowing no matter what genre of music it is, they're touring. They're out there having fun again, too, as well, with stages and amphitheaters and bars and saloons open up again and all that kind of stuff. Is that addicting to you, like being on stage and performing?
Yeah, it's definitely a really incredible experience to have. I actually played a show 2 nights ago where I think my favorite thing is being able to talk to people afterwards. And there was a guy who came up to me and he's like, what you were talking about, I've been going through this experience, like exactly. And it was really just a cool thing to connect. I think that's my favorite thing about music is the connection with people and really being able to just like chat with them after the shows.
I love that too. And that's the beauty. And like you said, a lot of musicians talk about that too, is after the fact, the show is over. The hard work's done. Going over to the merch booth, signing some stuff and meeting people, shaking hands. And I was just at a concert the other day down by the beach and supporting a good buddy of mine, Kyle Park, who does Texas Country down there, to get to MC it down there. And I loved it because you get out there despite the conditions, you still got to battle through. The show must go on. But at the end of it, he's like walking people over to the booth. And there's like, next thing you know, there's like a bachelorette party in front of it too. They're coming out there doing their thing. So it's just cool to see the fans really resonate for the music. Hey, on the flip side of that too, talking about the good things, I'm in it full throttle, so I understand the work that goes into it, not just from a radio show standpoint, but also the management side, booking side, things like that, and really the music business side. Give me some of the most challenging things you faced as a female artist.
Ooh. Honestly, I feel like the most challenging thing as an artist in general would just be, since there's no straight direct path, there's no like, hey, if you do all these steps, you're going to be incredibly successful. Everyone has their own story and their own journey. And I think that it really comes back to that love and passion and why you're doing what you're doing, because I feel like in the music industry in general, there's going to be high highs and low lows. And I think just staying the course, it can be a challenge because there's no guarantees really. It's just, yeah, why you're doing it. And I would say that was probably the biggest challenge, but also really gratifying to stick it out.
Yeah.
And just keep going for it.
Go through it, because it doesn't come easy, no doubt about it too. You look at some of the ladies on fire now, and even country music, even pop right now too. This slew of artists that's kind of doing their thing out there with notable names of people that just have stuck through it. There's movement, and even in country now too, and even the crossover too. I love the crossover, and want to get your opinion on that too, because what do you call it? Bro country movement, pop country movement. It's just kind of cool, because I think there's so many songs out there too that may say that it's like we stick to Americana, or we stick to country, or it's just pop. But now this crossover and this collaboration is kind of as high as it's ever been, right?
Yes, I love it. I love even like the folk coming into some different genres as well. And I feel like because on Spotify, your playlists are so vast anyway that nobody really listens to just one genre all the time. Like they have organized in different moods. So I feel like it allows the artist to just, I guess, maybe make their brand or their presence how they want it to be. And then, yeah, just kind of creatively shift genres. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, we see it every year. I mentioned the CMA Fest. I remember last year you had Luke Combs on stage with Vince Gill. I mean, you had Pillbox Patty come out too as well. I believe Elle King was there with Lainey Wilson. And of course, it's still kind of the country genre, but you also see, and I'm trying to remember, there was another artist that popped out of there last year. Looking at some videos there, watching the coverage at Nissan last year. But it's always the collaboration is so important. It's so important in the business now, because two like minds get together and a great song just really just is born, right? And that's the beauty of it, because I love so much of it. I want to talk about your single even earlier this year, before He Knows It came out, Better. Let's break that one down a little bit too, because I actually love the feel of that one too, and the message that was sent by your vocals.
Oh yeah, I'm so glad you like it.
Talk about that one, the writing of it, just the making of it, the idea, and kind of the songwriting, because I'm always interested in kind of where a song kind of comes from nothing to become something. That's a beautifully well done song.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Better. I started writing that one in 2021, and it was just at my keyboard in my room, and it was kind of during, I guess, the pandemic time, where you're all just in your head and in your thoughts. And yeah, it really kind of wrote itself in a way, because I was kind of feeling just sad, and just sat down at the keyboard. And then over I was also another go-to at shows, and one that people would come up to me and be like, hey, like this really made me feel seen or heard. And they connected to that one. So I was like, okay, well, I definitely have to record that too. And also brought that one to Tal as well. And yeah, we got it done this year. So it's been a long time coming, that one, because I feel like it's definitely an older song. But I'm so excited it's finally just out in the world.
When you get to the mix and mastering process of a song, how important is it for you to choose the right producer for the making of a single or a record?
I think it's incredibly important that you don't just like their work, but also who they are as a person, because you're spending so much time in the studio and then communicating afterwards as well. And I met Tal in 2019, and we just really vibe as people as well. So it's just such a joy to work with him and just bounce off ideas. And yeah, I think it's a very important thing to not only like the producer's work, but like who they are as well.
Well, I tell you, we're going to come back and talk about a song called Tough Love, which is across all those platforms out there from Abby J. Hall. Love this one too as well. It's a message, no doubt. If you haven't heard it, go check it out across all your favorite streaming platforms. We'll take a time out for our sponsors for CMA Fest 2024. and tell you a little bit about that upon coming back from the break. We're actually going to go backstage at the Grand Ole Opry. Pleased with that. It's come Sunday, June 9th. It's the 42nd annual Sunday Morning Country, hosted by the great Brenda Lee out there. You might remember that song, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree, in the Home Alone movie back in the 90s. She'll be there hosting it too, Sunday, June 9th. Myself, Elise Saunders, Caden Gordon, the whole team will be there too as well, doing a lot of fun out there. Backstage at the Opry, Larry Gatlin, the Gatlin brothers, and the Isaacs are going to be there, and just a whole lot more there too. And our good buddy Jonathan Bond will be there, Grammy-nominated recording artist too as well. Best in Christian country music out there. Check him out at jonathanbond.com right there too as well. And the message will be there for you always. And we actually handed out some CDs at the Kyle Park concert last week. Quick timeout, a word from Bangtail Whiskey. More with Abby J. Hall. I just love saying that too, with put the middle initial in there. Abby J. Hall on the Backstage Pass, KKTC True Country 99.9, and our friends at HighTideCountry.net. Stay tuned.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
The Caden Gordon Show is a 2-hour show playing the best in country music. So check it out at The Caden Gordon Show. That is thecadengordonshow.com.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, tonight, don't forget to tune in 6 to 7 Mountain Time with the LMNOC streaming app out there and True Country 99.9 KKTC in your car. More great episodes, more great artists out there. 7 nights a week, 6 to 7 Mountain Time out there, too, as well. And, of course, 7 to 8 o'clock Central is there, an hour behind us out there in Taos and up into Pueblo, Colorado. Back here with Abby J. Hall. It is the Backstage Pass, HighTideCountry.net, and our friends out there, KKTC True Country 99.9, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. A little bit of this, a little bit of that talk today. He Knows It, the current single across all the platforms. Hey, take me back a little bit to, I believe that was 2021, Tough Love. When this one comes out, this is just one of those, I call it a barn burner of a pop song, to use my country slang there too. But it's one of those that's going to hit you in a lot of ways because a lot of people have been through tough love in their life, right?
Yeah, Tough Love was a song that, again, it was during all that COVID times. And I had been hearing for a while that I should get on TikTok, and I was kind of like, no, I don't want to do that. But then eventually I did download the app, and this song I uploaded like the first verse to it, and it started getting a lot of comments of people like, we want you to finish that song. And it was at a time actually when Olivia Rodrigo took off, and there was like a bunch of drama with Joshua Bassett and her, and he commented on the video, which I think helped more people start talking about it. But I didn't know, like, because I didn't have the song recorded already. It took a while to like get to the studio and then finally put it out. So it was a cool and interesting way to learn how TikTok works, of like having a song recorded already and then promo it instead of being unprepared and then rushing to the studio. But it was a really cool way of kind of hearing other people's opinions and what they're all going through during COVID, and to take some inspiration from that and add that into the lyrics as well.
Love it too. I'm gonna go across the pond for one of the my avid listeners over there. David tunes in a lot during the week for the shows, both on the audio side and the video side here too. He says, "Hi Abby, watching from Cumbria in England. Which songs do you enjoy singing? And of course, do you play any instruments?" Good question. I like that.
Hi David. Well, I would say songs I love to sing. Probably, I usually do sets with all original music. And I think one of my favorite ones to sing is a song coming out called Sweet on May 17th, which I'm really excited about. And I play the keyboard, the guitar, and ukulele.
Really, ukulele? I would I would not have pictured that too. That's a pretty cool. That's a tough one to learn right there. I've seen a lot of people try that too, including myself, and I failed. I'm just going to go ahead and admit it right there. I could not play ukulele to save my life, so I commend you on that. Hey, let's back up even a little bit before we talked about tough love, but there were two songs, even the COVID challenges that every artist went through. Neighbor was one of them that I remember listening to and actually kind of listening to over the last few weeks too. Let's get kind of the lowdown on that one too a little bit.
Neighbor, okay, so I started writing that one in 2016 with a Toronto artist named Daryl London.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, when I was in middle school, I really looked up to her as an artist. And so it was cool to collaborate with her on that one. And I kept adding different things to it over the past few years. And then it finally came out in 2020. And we were able to put a beautiful video together with it, highlighting like homelessness in Toronto and an organization called the Good Shepherd,
mm-hmm.
who provide shelter and food for those in need. So it was a really great project to be a part of during that kind of tough time again, 2020, when the world went crazy.
It sure did too. And I loved another one you guys had released during that time too, was called All I Wanted. And just another one of those songs that really hits deep to the core too. Talk about that one for us.
Yeah, All I Wanted was a song that, again, I wrote in my bedroom at my keyboard. And I feel like the sad songs are sometimes songs that just come and you're not really, you're just kind of open to what might come. And I was working with the producer, Andre Caden Black, and Tal Vaisman did the engineer work on that. And yeah, that was a quick process. I wrote that one. We got it pretty much recorded right away.
I want to get your opinion on this because I do a lot of great Canadian artists like yourself here on the program, both in the pop side, every genre of music, country. I love it because it's amazing how those type of artists are really making an impact on the States down here too. Some move here, some move to Nashville, keep the music career going. Give me some thoughts on how well it is to see fellow Canadian artists in all genres of music, like kicking some ass, taking some names now, because it's a really cool feeling to see them come to Nashville or other parts of the country, LA, and just really just dominate.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of incredible Canadian artists that I'm inspired by. And I actually have a friend that recently moved down to Nashville, and she's starting her career there as well. And it's always such an amazing thing to see and to support. And Nashville is so fun. It's such an incredible city. It seriously is. I can't believe every bar is there's music going on, and you just feel so happy to be there. I don't know. So it's definitely a super, super cool town.
Every time I walk down on Broadway, whether it be CRS, CMA Fest, twice a year, 3 times a year, whatever it is, or go back to do business and just enjoy it, every bar echo that sentiment highly, because it's music on every corner, no matter where you walk into it, puts a smile on your face, and it's a fun town. It is.
I went to Nashville last May to see Taylor Swift there, and it was so busy. I don't think I've ever seen a place, and every bar, all the streets were just crowded. But it was so fun.
I can imagine. How was that show, by the way, too? It had to be an immaculate show, right?
It was so incredible. It was just before her Rain show where she almost canceled, and we stayed for that. And it was just such a cool experience to be there and to see her, in Nashville, where she really was discovered. And yeah, it was incredible.
Hey, I admit to Swiftie. Can't deny it. Like I said, I love what she's done out there too. The songs, great songwriting too at the same time, and it was kind of cool to see. Did you see the documentary that was on the Disney Plus, the Eras tour?
Yeah.
Did you get to see that?
Yeah,
what'd you think?
So good.
It's good.
They
put it together real well. Yeah.
The tour or her life documentary?
I guess it was that. So the tour one's the one I watched. I forgot they made the second one too as well. But the tour one, I thought, was fantastic. SoFi Stadium and over 100,000 there too. And she's playing her ticket. The filming was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought it was just one of the best tour shots I'd ever seen there from the Eras tour, which was pretty amazing out there too. And maybe one day Abby J. Hall has that type of documentary. You just never know out there too. We could be talking about the same thing here in the next 5 or 10 years.
Wow.
That she's the next Taylor Swift out there too. And it's songs like He Knows It across all the platforms now. Go check it out too as well out there too, wherever your digital streaming platforms are out there too. We got to take a time out here for our friends over at, of course, CMA Fest to get all the information. Now, guys, it's 7 stages. As Abby said, it's a fun town. It's Nashville, Tennessee. How can you go wrong with CMA Fest, the largest music festival in the world, when it really matriculates like close to, I've heard numbers of like over 100,000, 200,000, at least 250,000 people will file in, if not more, to that in a 3-day span. It's coming up there June 6th to the 9th. All the information now, 7 stages, the Ascend Amphitheater, and of course out there too as well. A lot of cool stuff. Fanfare X, meet and greet your favorite artist out there at the Music City Center all day long. Get tickets now, cmafest.com, and it's all made possible out there by our friends Jonathan Bond out there, Grammy-nominated recording artist too, the best in country Christian music. Check him out at jonathanbond.com. Click the link there on the screen to go to the latest music video, and made possible by our friends at Bangtail Whiskey. Coming back, final segment with Abby J. Hall coming up at hightidecountry.net and our friends at KKTC True Country 99.9.
Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
The Caden Gordon Show, today's best country mix, is a 2-hour show playing independent and mainstream country music you know and love. Be sure to check it out at thecadengordonshow.com for more information on the show.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, next week, some big shows. Doug Gray of the Marshall Tucker Band. Yeah, they're still playing out there. 50 years and stringing along a lot of shows out there, too. And, of course, the Hall of Famer. She's done it all out there, too, as well. The daughter of the late, great Mel Tillis, Pam Tillis, here on the Backstage Pass, coming up here in a few weeks, too, as well, here on the show. She's been a great guest before. And just got notified, Daryl Worley is going to be at CMA Fest along with Billy Dean. And it looks like we might track down Shenandoah once again, too, as well. Always good to catch up with Marty Rabin and Shenandoah out there, too, as well. Of course, 2 Dozen Roses, a legendary song in country music. Back here with Abby J. Hall, KKTC, True Country 99.9, and our friends out there at hightidecountry.net. He Knows It, the current single. I guess he does know it out there, too. It's across all the streaming platforms, too, as well. I love the title of that song, too, which is fantastic from a great artist out there. All right, let's have a little fun. I love doing rapid fire because it's always fun. I never get to know where the conversation is going to take us, and of course some personal things that come out, your favorite things to go out there too. All right, you've been to that town called Nashville, Tennessee. For me, I finally got my hot chicken on at Hattie B's their last time on Broadway, and I'd never had it before. Heard a lot of talk about it too, which was fantastic. I guess 1, are you a hot chicken fan? If not, 2, where did y'all eat when you were there?
I don't think I've ever had hot chicken. I need to get it next time. That's crazy.
And I started out at medium. I did not go to the mild or to whatever the 2 steps are below it. I didn't go to 2 step above it either. Mild was like the perfect combination of just the whole thing, like the sweet, the
and was
sour,
it really
the
spicy
spice.
too?
It had a little kick. I mean, I'll tell you this. You know, me being a guy who loves to eat, I'm not afraid to admit it. I couldn't even finish the actual plate with the sides. There was a piece of chicken left, and yeah, my friends I was with too, and some of the other artists, it was just it couldn't finish it. The sides were too much, and like we had a little. An appetizer or something, fried pickles. I don't even know what it was, but I can tell you this: they've got some of the best restaurants, as you know, there too. And if you like Mexican, if you like Thai food, if you like whatever, Nashville, Tennessee is where you.
Tacos are so good. Yeah, the tacos are incredible. There's also in the Gulch area a restaurant called Sunda, I believe, and it's so good. And I was there really briefly in February doing some recording, and I just like Uber Eats sent Sunda to my place because I remembered it from last time. It was so good, like such good sushi.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to check that out too, sir. I love sushi too. That's one of the things on the to-do list again back in June for CMA Fest too. All right, for fun, as far as hobbies go, when you're not doing music, what do you like to do for fun?
Ooh, I really like paint by numbers because I cannot paint for the life of me, and it makes me feel like I can. And I also really like to skateboard. That's like a
Really?
newer hobby
The newer one?
I'm
All
just
right.
getting
I
into.
like
It's like a surf skate.
I like that.
It's
I'd break my neck on a skateboard, so I commend you to be able to pick that up as a hobby because that's not something I think I tried to get on one before, and just standing on it made me nervous about as much as surfing. That's that's kind of the tough situation there too. But hey, commend you for picking that up too, because that could be keep practicing. Hey, I just got back into bike riding. I rode a bike when I was a kid, and it went a lapse of 10, 15 years before I got on it. Got the craving again to hop back on a bike, and so far I'm enjoying that again. So it's amazing as you get older
oh
in life,
yay.
the hobbies you kind of pick up again when you were a kid. I guess that's what
Mm.
they say it too there. Give me the favorite Abby J. Hall toppings on a pizza. What go on it when it's just for you?
Oh my goodness. Probably everything. There's nothing that I really don't like other than I don't love green peppers for whatever reason. My whole family loves green peppers, but not me. But I'll do pineapple or not. It's really I don't have a lot that I don't like on pizza.
I like that. All
Usually
right,
like
favorite.
feta.
Yeah, anything you put on pizza, I like it too as well. Not green peppers, olives. Okay, mushrooms. I'm not too crazy with those three things, but anything else, I'm pretty game for. Let me ask you this one too: if you were not a working musician, what other career path would you have taken?
Ooh. I think maybe something in biology,
Okay.
or this is still music related, but like a Broadway
Oh, I can
singer
see that.
vibe. I feel like that
I
would be
like
so
that.
fun.
I like that. Speaking of Broad, I saw the show was the guy, I can't remember his name right offhand, but I watched The Voice a little bit to just kind of scout and kind of see what's talent is on there right now too. But Reba McEntire had brought on the guy from Hamilton there. I guess that did the voice for
Mhm.
Hamilton in the play. Did you like Hamilton on Disney Plus when you got to see it?
I did. I started watching it with a friend, and because you have to almost really concentrate on the lyrics, the words. So then I
Mm-hmm.
finished it by myself, and I was like, wow, I was crying by the end. And then I actually took my mom to go see it in Toronto this past summer or last summer. So that was really special. And yeah, it's a lot. The lyrics are crazy, but they're
Mm-hmm.
so good.
It is. You got to pay attention to what they're saying, and I've got select hearing like we all do out there too. So I kind of probably drifted off or drifted to sleep when I was watching it. But when I woke up and actually watched it back, it was really good out there. All right, we'll finish on this one too. Favorite shows, or what are you getting into lately now that makes for good, just like a binge watching? What shows?
I just started watching Derby Girls. I hope that's
Hmm.
the right name. But it's hilarious. It's about these girls based in Ireland, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
more of a comedy. I also really love The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and I've been dragging my mom to watch it with me. It was going to be for laughs at first, and then it has great content for songs
Oh,
in
all
it,
right.
just studying people's behavior.
Which is something we all do out there too. And it's good to get a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Variety is the spice of life too. And what's the spice out there too is Abby J. Hall and the music across all these streaming platforms. He knows it. Current single across all those platforms. Check it out, subscribe, and go check it out with your favorite playlist, and give her a like on social media out there too. And catch a live show. We always say if they come near Texas, I try to get out there and do it, or Nashville or whatever. Make sure you guys check out the show schedule too. Keeping posted out there on social media. Hey, it's been a blast to get to know you and the music and you as a person. Love your personality. Love the songs out there. All the music is available for streaming across all those streaming platforms. Appreciate you jumping on. And you know what? Hey, it's not my first rodeo, so let's do this again.
Thanks, Brandon. It was so good meeting you as well.
You got it. Abby J. Hall across all the digital streaming platforms. He knows it, the current single out there. You'll be glad you listened to it, no doubt. We're not done for the day. Zorro coming up here in a little bit. The drummer, he actually used to drum with Lenny Kravitz. We'll get his story, talk about some of the new projects he's working on. Julia Cole coming by tomorrow. And speaking of Canada Friday, JoJo Mason coming by too as well. Does some great country music up there too. And we're back next week with more great shows here on the Backstage Pass KKTC True Country 99.9 in Towson, up into Colorado out there via the LMNOC streaming app. Weeknights, 6 to 7 Mountain Time, and our friends at hightidecountry.net. Always catch the show on YouTube and powered by the Sports Guys Podcast.com. We'll see you soon. Take care.